Welcome into Power 5 Picks, where we cover every single bowl game this postseason. We're coming down to just a few games left, only a few bowl games left besides the college football playoff. And today we do have the Gator Bowl today at Jacksonville, Florida, between Duke and Ole Miss. Ole Miss has soared up to a 17.5 point favorite after opening as a 12.5 point favorite. Over under of this game is 51. Opt outs, again, make sure you do check out your own opt outs, but from what I'm seeing, um, Duke has a starting running back transferring, starter cornerback transferring, backup quarterback transferring, and then besides that, Coach Diaz said no one is expected to opt out besides just his two biggest offensive weapons. And then Ole Miss, I'm seeing is without a corner, a right tackle, and a couple other opt outs, but I don't think anything super serious. The big question here is Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin were pissed at the college football playoff. I think more Lane Kiffin, but if you follow him on X or Twitter, he is going off. He is just kind of being a jackass. Kind of understandable, I guess, coming from him who was left out. But he's making fun of these small schools. He's rooting for Penn State. He's rooting for Texas. I think that's probably the SEC bias. He was livid in round one with all the blowouts. Again, he might have a point, but usually coaches aren't this vocal about it, as is Lane Kiffin, who I'm not a huge fan of the guy. It's Ole Miss. It's the same old story with Ole Miss every single year. You know, they have a good start. You know, they get into the top six, top five, and then lose two or three games and then get kicked out. If you don't want to be left out, just win the games. And Ole Miss is incapable of doing that. So I am a little biased on this game. So I'll send it to you. I actually kind of like this game quite a bit. And this is going to be after that postponed college football playoff game. We do have Georgia and Notre Dame playing today after that terrible accident in New Orleans. So this will be after that game. So hopefully you can win some money in that game. We do have a preview out on Georgia Notre Dame already on our page. So make sure you check that one out. But Ethan, who you taking in the Gator Bowl between Duke and Ole Miss?
Yeah, I don't love this game because of Lane Kiffin talking. I do lean Duke. I think it's ballooned a little too high. So I'm going to take a stab at the points with Duke. But yeah, it does seem like Ole Miss does want to come in here and blow Duke out, especially last year when Florida State was making some noise about missing the playoff and then getting absolutely boat raced in their bowl game. Um, I think if you're going to talk the talk, you got to walk the walk. So that does make me nervous. It's probably going to keep me off of Duke. But you look at Ole Miss, yeah, they had a good year, but really outside of the win against Georgia, which yeah, that was an impressive win. Um, Although Georgia did have Tennessee on deck in that one, so maybe a touch of a look ahead there, but they really didn't beat anybody outside of that. Mississippi State, Arkansas, Oklahoma, South Carolina before they were kind of coming onto the scene there, and then all out of conference teams. They lost to Kentucky, not a great loss. LSU, probably not a great loss, and then Florida, probably not a great loss. So I don't know if I can lay 17.5 with Ole Miss here. You look at Duke; they started out their season really good, 5-0. Dropped one to Georgia Tech. Ended up losing 3 of 4, 2 of which were two ranked opponents at the time, SMU and Miami. Finished their year 3-0, three decent wins in their conference. So kind of like the way that Duke finished the year. I think 17.5 is just a little too much here. I am worried about taking the points with Duke because I do think Lane Kiffin could kind of run up the score here and it could get ugly. Before the graphic, we'll go Duke as my lean here.
Yeah, I'm right there with you with Duke. I cannot bet Kiffin in this game. It is a spite bet. So probably not the smartest. I'm betting with my heart as opposed to my head. But yeah, I mean, Lane Kiffin is wanting to blow this team out of the water. And the United States, America is expecting him to do the same. But Lane Kiffin always underperforms, like I was mentioning. He always talks a big talk, can never walk the walk. Diaz for Duke, the jackass of him. But I do think he is a prideful coach. I think he also is going to get his guys up to, it's a good narrative for Duke, I think, to go in there and kind of do. I mean, I don't think they're going to do what Georgia did to Florida State with what is that, 52-0 or something. But,
Even more.
knock off Ole Miss and say, this is why you weren't in. So I like Duke to come out with an extra bit of incentive or rage in this bowl game. Whereas I think it's easy again to hammer Ole Miss with the narrative of Lane Kiffin, with Duke not being with their starting running back and quarterback. I think it's just too easy to flip. And 5 points of line movement is just too much. We've seen bowl games this year with opt-outs galore, and it doesn't affect it as much as I think Vegas or the public think it will. So I'm gonna take Duke. I will be betting it. Again, it's an emotional bet, but I have a really good feeling about it. And 17.5, you do kind of get that hook. So I'm going to take Duke, but stay tuned. We do have a couple more regular season bowl games or regular bowl games as opposed to the college football playoff. But after those, it's just going to be playoff football. And we're finally seeing the top teams emerge here. We were almost dead right on all of our picks yesterday. Actually, we were dead right on the second round of the college football playoff. We were on Penn State spread, Arizona State spread, Ohio State money line. Ethan hit that for 5 units yesterday. I believe we are both on Georgia today. But finally, the cream of the crop is starting to come to the top here in the college football playoff. So a lot more exciting videos coming over here on Power 5 Picks. Make sure you stay tuned then. And until then, guys, we'll see you in the next episode.
You better start listening to the Better in Green podcast. You will not regret it. Trust me, trust me, trust me. And hey, I'm Dean Blandino.
Welcome, welcome, welcome to Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? To Better in Green, eh? Listening to cash out, that's what it's all about. Come on, let's make cash now. We always on spot and we cover all spot from the bottom to the top. Hey, shout out to Ethan, shout out to Wyatt, shout out to Ben. Welcome, welcome to our podcast. Better in Green.